So what's an SEO? From a definition perspective, it is the search engine optimization is a practice of optimizing a web page or a website to increase the quantity and quality of traffic from a search engine's organic result. So at some point of time, each and every one of us would have used, since last decade, last 10 years, we would have used Google search engine. We would type something which you want to know more about, you want to buy something, or you want to know a particular product. You go into get into Google and type the particular information you want, and then Google will fetch the results. And in matter of, if you look at it, in matter of few seconds, it gives about whatever the count it is, maybe in some case or millions. It can fetch the records with number of pages, and initially it will throw up all the advertisements. And in the sense, these are paid ones, which gets popped up by Google because the particular vendor would have paid Google so that as an advertisement, so that it pops up in the search result. So this will come on the top, and the bottom is what is, we call it as the organic one. So this is not, you don't have a letter AD prefixed before this, beginner's guide for SE, because if you look at it, we had typed in SEO and it has matched with this one, and this has picked, this has come on the search results. So ideally, because it is at the top of the search result, any user is bound to click that particular search result. 90% he might click this if it is attractive, or if it is maybe in the first page or in the second page. He might not go beyond that. Maybe in the first page, at the most in the second page of the search results, he will try to get the information. So this is where, whenever search is performed, if you're an owner of a web page or a website, you always want to have that the search results within the first, second, or third page based on the search criteria. You want to always have, because once that happens, maybe in the first page or the second page, then there is every likelihood of you making a business with the user. So that is where the search engine optimization is very critical. So as a matter of fact, it is just not enough you create a website. Yeah, web presence is very important. These days, a web presence for any business, however small or however big, or even for personal branding as such, you would like to have a website so that the world knows about you. If you know about you, in case if you want to have your personal branding done, or if you're into business, you want to have a website. So if assuming you sell something, you're selling laptops or computers, or for that matter, you're developing some mobile application. So a customer goes and types mobile application development on the Google search engine. You'd always want it to be listed on the first few pages. Maybe if not in the first page is highly ranking. Organically. I'm not talking about the advertisement, because once you say these kinds of ads, this is going to cost you. You need to pay Google a certain amount. So I'm talking about organically getting the results. So if you're into some kind of a development, mobile development, then once they type in the mobile development, mobile software or mobile application development, ideally you would require that to be available, your website to be listed in the first few pages. That is where the search engine optimization has its own rules, and if you satisfy those rules, you are likely to have a higher ranking. If you don't satisfy that rules, yes, your page is going to be at the last, and you don't get an organic traffic to your website. So unless you go out and say that, hey, I'm into the mobile development of applications, people across the world, who are unknown to you, might not know about your development capabilities, or they might not know you are into the mobile application development. So that is where, whether you are a website developer or a website owner or a vendor who has a website, the search engine optimization plays a critical part. So the benefits are obvious. So it's going to be, if you come in the top pages, it's free, passive traffic to your website month after month. So how does it work? Search engines are like library for digital age. Instead of storing copies of book, it's just like library. instead of storing the entire book, it stores the web pages, critical information of even, it will not store the entire page, it will store the critical information like description of the web page, which is called as the metadata of the page. So those are indexed and stored by the inside the Google server, so that gets retrieved when you perform a search. And how does it do that? It has an algorithm or a computer program called an algorithm, and that is called, and it performs the search. So many factors. One is, of course, the keywords. Again, this is just keyword is just one parameter. Relevance, usability, how relevant is that to the search. More importantly, last one, because there are a number of factors: expertise and quality of the sources. Sources meaning your web page without any errors. The errors should be as much as possible minimum. Again, it's not just one time. You can't expect your website in the top of the pages in matter of it cannot happen overnight, or it cannot happen in few days. This task has to be continuous. It will take time, though you might not hit the top of the search list, but you will be at least at a maybe at some page which is close to the top. Even that generates enormous amount of traffic, and that generates business. So in a nutshell, I hope you have a clarity as what is SEO is all about. Thank you. Stay tuned. Let us now look at how the search engines work, whether it is Google or Yahoo. How it works, we'll look at that. So this is in a nutshell how it works. First, this is the first step. You get into Google and type some information. Suppose if you want to search all the hotels at New York, you type in hotels in New York. So actually there is a behind the scene works which happens. When a website is created in the hosted in the internet, there is a spider, or it is called the bot, which will run through the entire network whenever a website is created, and that sometimes takes time for the spider to crawl across the web, and it needs to discover your website first. So that is where there are techniques. We will see that. If you want to ensure that your website is caught up by the spider quickly, there are methods which you need to adopt. We'll see that. So otherwise, yeah, if it needs to do it on your own, it needs to recognize your website, it is going to take some time. So the spider or a bot get into the website, and there are parameters, we'll see that, and that it needs to recognize. So that is the first step. The crawlers is the first step. All the search engines does this. So crawler has to get into the identify your website, and then it looks for the titles, keywords, descriptions. So these are important to be ranked up. You need to have appropriate usage of keywords. You should have appropriate description tags. And again, the point to notice, description tags for each of your pages. It's not for the website, it's for each of the pages. You need to have the description tags as such. And at that stage, indexing happens. Indexing in the sense, depending on, as I said, depending on the keywords and description tags, the indexing happens. And once it is indexed, and then only depending on the ranking you have, and again, the ranking takes time. It cannot happen overnight. It cannot happen in few days time. It could well take over months, maybe even years also. Yeah, if it is a product of a well-known company, like say for example maybe Google or Microsoft or Oracle, the indexing will be faster because it is a known entity across the globe. Indexing happens faster, and that is where the ranking will happen faster. So that is where you'll find, similarly, since you are searching for hotels in New York, maybe a reputed well-known hotel brand will be listed on the top of your search list, and maybe the unknown hotels which doesn't been searched or which doesn't have a traffic will be maybe at the 10th or 100th of page. So unless you give the specific name of the hotel, it may be down at the 100th page. So the point to notice, the first stage is the crawlers, which needs to identify your website, and then happens the indexing based on keywords, titles, and that is indexed, and they have a separate algorithm or maybe a database on which they store it, so that when someone asks for that information based on the ranking, it displays that information. So that's in a nutshell. So we will get into a little bit of detailing. So first step is crawl. The search engine sends out, this is behind the screen. This doesn't happen, offline it happens. Offline, the sense like if you're even not using the search engine sends out the web crawlers, bots, a spider to review the website content, pay attention to the new website and to the existing content that has been recently changed. And this is where this is in our control. The website owner has the control of sitemaps, robot text. What is a sitemap? What is a robot text? We'll see that. But these are important concepts. So you need to have your appropriate sitemap, appropriate robot text in your web server, so that the crawler recognizes them and it process and makes an index out of it. So the next step is the index. Once your website has been crawled, the search engine need to decide, organize how to organize the information. The index process is when they review the website data for positive and negative ranking. When does positive ranking happens? There are techniques like if many of the website has associated links called as backlinks, then it is generally ranked high. That is where when post indexing you have the rank. So during the indexing process, the search engines start making decision on where to display the specific content on the search engine result page. So this is all happens offline as well. So once this is done, your website is all indexed, and if you have a top rank, so whenever you say to Google, hey, I want hotels in New York, and if you're on the top, the particular hotel is on the top of the rank, in the first page it might be listed. So that is where the first few pages, the particular business, hotel business, will get lot of traffic. So the objective of any business or an SEO expert is to have the website in the top pages of the search result. So that is how, in a nutshell, the search engine works. And when you search something, the search engine result page displays all the results whatever you have searched for, page by page. The first page will have all the top ranking website, and maybe if there is an advertisement for that specific provided by that specific vendor, that will be listed by the Google, because that the vendor makes a payment, that is listed on the top, maybe in the first page itself. But you will have something mentioned as ad will be there, and then that will be followed by the URL link, particularly if it is a kind of a paid service with a Google. So that's in the nutshell as how the search engine works. Thank you.